Horror movie night ruined by demon spawn. Hey everyone, welcome back to Childfree for Life. Don't forget to subscribe to be a for lifer. I went over to my friend's place tonight for what was supposed to be a paranormal activity movie marathon. We planned for a pizza dinner with her kid, 3-year-old boy stuck in his terrible twos phase. And then she was going to take him over to her parents to spend the night since I was going to stay at her place. Well, we finished dinner and start making our way to the car with his overnight bag when he starts losing his crap, crying and yelling about how he doesn't want to go to her parents. She wrangles him into the car, and the whole 20-minute drive over, it was non-stop wailing. Like, I don't even know how he was taking breaths because it sounded like one long continuous banshee yell. We finally get to her parents and she calls her mom to come get him out of the car, thinking that will be easier. And as soon as her mom opens his door, he yells, "I don't want to go with Mimi!" and slips off his crock and chucks it at her face. Grandmas are a whole different breed because despite this, she was like, "Honey, come on, Mimi wants to read you stories and get some cuddles with you so mommy gets some time with her friend." But the kid wouldn't budge. So my friend has to get out of the car to get him out and try to take him inside, and he was not having it. He was kicking and screaming and hitting, and when she finally got him out, he managed to slip out of her grip and throw himself dramatically down on the driveway. And this was when the fatal line of, "I can't leave him this way," was uttered. She apologized to her mom and said maybe he'll want to come next weekend and starts putting him back in the car. Meanwhile, I'm sitting in the passenger seat like, excuse me, what? Then she gets back in and is like, "I'm sorry, it just hurts to see him so upset, and we'll just watch something quick with him if he falls asleep, and then we can start our movies." Y'all, I suffered through 2 Blippi Halloween specials. If you don't know what that is, please consider yourself very lucky. It's some god-awful character this guy made on YouTube for kids, and it made me want to gouge my eyes out. Both videos were over 30 minutes each. After the second video and the second failed attempt to put him to bed, I decided to just call it a night. My friend begged me to still stay over and said we can just watch the Hotel Transylvania movies with him. No shade to those movies because they're cute and all, but I'm trying to be jump scared. So I declined and came home to my beautiful silent child-free apartment. Now I'm gonna get high and watch Insidious. Yeah, I watch my nephew pull this crap all the time. He's turning into a full-on brat. My brother-in-law is your nephew in the future. All my mother-in-law did was enable him and always said yes to him for everything he wanted, all because she just wanted him to be happy. The kid is now a 21-year-old entitled little craphead, well on his way to becoming the 40-year-old virgin living in his mom's basement. My husband and I have tried to help in every which way possible: money, resume, or cover letter assistance, covering startup costs for Uber, Lyft, help with academic and schooling help, and more. But the kid has his head stuck so far up his behind, he doesn't see the train wreck coming from a mile away. Conclusion: don't put up with toddler tantrums. Don't give in to them. Say no to the crotch goblins. It will teach them self-discipline once they become young adults. This. After mailing both nieces a birthday card with money inside and not even getting a quick thanks, no text, nothing, for the second year in a row, my husband and I decided we're done. No more gifts. My sister raised them just like her brother-in-law, and they're complete butt wipes. I think she's starting to realize the error of her ways as her kids, 18 and 15, are now starting to treat her like the butt wipes they are too. It might cause a rift between my sister and I by not sending them crap anymore, but I don't really care. I only hear from her when she needs something anyway, usually to vent about her family problems. Good riddance. Yep, same thing. We've been pretty generous with gifts, help, both financial and otherwise, etc. To the point where my brother-in-law and mother-in-law now expect it. They were outraged when we didn't buy my brother-in-law a $500 drum set. We have bills to pay too. We rarely ever spend $500 on ourselves, and when we do, it's usually some sort of necessary expense, such as cars, for example, car maintenance. And when they contact us, it's also always, like in your case, because they want or need something. My favorite things are when people post questions like, "Am I a bad person for punishing my child for stealing and trying to pin it on somebody else to get them fired?" Or, "Was I wrong for not buying my kid a new iPhone when he deliberately smashed it for his TikTok challenge? He just got it last week and it cost us $700. Now he's mad we're not getting him a new one and I feel guilty." When did the most basic of parenting become something you need to crowdsource the answer to? If you don't know that your child shouldn't be an entitled psycho and it's your job to raise him not to be that way, then you shouldn't have had kids in the first place. My oldest nephews are 14 now and are absolutely dumb, bully, spoiled twats from this reinforcement. Not only did they learn that negative behavior gets the best reaction and best response, but they also learned that they could complain for financial gain as they got older. Now their mother is saving up to buy them each their own brand new cars for when they turn 16. Each their own new car. Do you know how much money that costs? Cars where I live aren't that cheap. My partner and I already expect that in the next few years, we will listen to the meltdowns of his cousin as she laments how they wrecked their cars, impregnated some teenage girl, or got arrested for drunk driving, or any other completely reckless and stupid activity that one can expect from a pair of entitled little rich kids. It's like every 80s movie in live action format. See, this is why I think I'd make an awful parent. I wouldn't say, oh, I can't stand seeing like this. I'd be saying, you're going to your grandparents, I don't care how much you scream, you cannot act like this. It's wrong. I will carry you in there if I have to. I don't have an ounce of patience for that crap, so I choose to not put myself and the child in this situation. No, not taking crap from a 3-year-old is actually good parenting, but you don't want to be in that situation, and that makes sense. I work with kids and some get shell-shocked when I actually put up boundaries. I don't care how resistant you are, insert thing they don't want, right now. Same with consequences. Some get a surprise Pikachu face when I actually punish them. Why? Because their parents become spineless because they can't see their child angry or sad. OP's friend is going to wind up with a child who has little boundaries unless somebody sets the kid straight. For some reason, mom talk videos are showing up in my TikTok feed, and apparently there are people who, because their kids cried the first few times getting dropped off at preschool or when they went back to pick them up, pulled them out of school and are now homeschooling them. There was a video of a kid who started crying when he got picked up from his first day of school, which apparently can happen because they're overwhelmed when they see mom again, and the comment section was calling the mom a bad mom for leaving him at school all day and saying clearly he should be homeschooled. I'm no psychologist, but I thought part of healthy child development was them learning that mom might leave sometimes, but they can expect her back, which they don't learn if they never leave them. Like, when did this whole never leave your kids line of sight philosophy become a thing? What the heck? I'm actually sympathetic to both you and the kid. You took your time out to go have plans, and your friend didn't plan accordingly with her kid. That's wasted your time. You had to sit through garbage movies, and it's just not fair to you at all. I'm also sympathetic towards the kid, surprisingly, because I remember how freaking frustrating and awful it was to be a child and being forced to stay somewhere I didn't want to be. It felt awful to be so powerless, having adults just decide for me when to eat, sleep, shower, where to go, how to play, and that I had to do what they said. The fact that I might not want to leave the comfort of my own bedroom because I was feeling anxious or just not wanting to leave my own freaking home didn't matter. I had to do what everyone else wanted. God, I still have resentments today, but I never threw a tantrum like that. Nevertheless, that sounds like a lot of the stress disproportionate to the stimulus. The solution, I think, was difficult to decide. I think trying to talk with the kid to determine what the problem was and trying to de-escalate it and help the child decompress could have been more beneficial. Then, if it was just a kid being a crappy little brat, lay on the consequences for not respecting time that your parents may want. It's one of the main reasons I'm child-free and got sterilized. I freaking hated being a child. I'd never want to inflict that same sense of frustrating powerlessness onto somebody. I agree with another person who said he was throwing a fit because his mom was going to have fun without him. If she'd framed it as, you get to spend the night with Mimi, and taken him there first, he probably would have been just fine. But the friend came over first, they had pizza, they have plans. Nope. Mommy doesn't get to have fun without him. And prior experience taught him that if he threw a huge fit, he'd eventually get his way. Once a kid is already escalated, there's no talking to them or reasoning with them, especially not a 3-year-old. They just don't have that capacity very well to begin with, especially not when already upset.